Torres, and this is Glossip Girls. We have a special English episode talking all things summer house with the wonderful Anaya. Anaya, tell us everything about you and why do you love summer house or love hate summer house?
Love, hate, summer house. Hi, everyone. I am Nneya Richards. I'm a writer and pop culture addict, content creator. And I love Summer House because of all of the white on white crime. I'm kidding. It's kind of a bit like why I love a Vanderpump Rules. Like it got me. Summer House was the spinoff of Vanderpump Rules. And I remember first seeing the Stassi slapping Kristen on Vanderpump Rules. And I was like, what is this? And I was like a fan of, a Love and Hip Hop, a Baddie, a Bad Girls Club. And then I saw these millennial, like seemingly bougie white people going at it. And so I was like, what's going on here? And Summer House is the spinoff of that. And like, I love Lindsay. I love Carl. I love. Wait,
You love
no, I meant to
Kyle.
say Lindsay and Kyle.
I
Kyle.
was
That's
gonna
what I meant to say,
say,
not Carl.
I'm like, I
Kyle.
know who you love, and it's
And,
Kyle
I,
Cook.
and I've always loved Kyle. I've always found him fun. And growing up in New York City, going to the Hamptons, I stayed at a share house once.
You're
It
like,
was
this is not
never
for
for
me.
Yeah, it was not for me. I don't do the like, we gotta find whose beds. I was like,
And yeah,
this is
you're
not.
too fancy and bougie for that. Like I can't imagine you so fabulous and somebody's like, hey, we gotta share the bed now, and like somebody's showing up drunk at 3. You will be like, excuse me.
No, no, exactly. That's how it was. When I did it, I went with my friend, my boyfriend at the time. This was like in my early 20s, and a girlfriend who had the share house. And we had a friend and a girl and one of my girlfriends, one of his friends, one of my girlfriends were in the share house. So we came as their guests that weekend. And I was like afraid to go out because of how the bedding situation was. I was like, wait a second, you guys just like end up in beds here? Like, where
And
do
you're
I
like,
put my stuff? It was
you saw
exhausting.
somebody pull out an air mattress, and you were like, what is that?
I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. And I love going to the Hamptons in the summer. It is my happy place. It's like a time with friends and family. And occasionally I'll go to a club, occasionally, but I like a house party
Sometimes
more.
you can pop
But
out and be outside, but keep it cute. You're
right,
not like me.
keep
You're
it
not like
cute.
a bar rat as I was in my youth.
But I've always liked a house party. So big bar rat energy, like and maybe this is why I like Kyle, because I love coming back home, put on the music, we are dancing until dawn and
Eating,
eating
eating,
snacks.
eating
And
snacks.
so,
Oh, I
so
do
maybe that's why
love.
I love Kyle, because he's my kindred spirit.
He brings that out of you. Okay, so tell
Mhm.
us about your podcast. This woman has two podcasts, not one,
I
two,
have
and they're
two podcasts.
fabulous.
Thank you. So I have my big podcast baby is Building Home. It is my podcast dealing with expats, immigrants, anyone who is making home in a place where they weren't born, maybe they weren't raised. And for me, it's because I live in Italy. I live in Northern Italy, born and raised in New York City. And being here, having sometimes feelings of homesickness, in both places, like when I'm in different places, I started exploring and deep diving into the idea of what it means to build home. I was always getting this question from people like, oh girl, how are you doing it? How are you making it in Italy? My grandparents were immigrants from Jamaica and Canada to New York. And for me, like understanding that diaspora life from such a young age, like I've always explored the idea of home naturally. And social media gave me a chance to see that there are so many other people in that same position. So I love talking with people from different cultures, different backgrounds about how they're making it in a new place. And, speaking with you, it inspires me. And again, like not to tie everything back to Bravo, but like that's also
But
kind of
do
part of, but do because it's my, like when I am, not even when I'm homesick, I feel like I don't get homesick as much because I watch so much Bravo, because for me, it is a touch point of home, of New York, of US, and our crazy pop culture. Every culture has their own reality shows, and like the US, our crazy brand of it is a slice of home for me. So that's how we connected with, and when you came on my podcast, it was because I found this other Bravo lover who was making her home in a different place from where she grew up. And I thought that was super cool. And then my other podcast is about two aging millennials. It is a like life and pop culture, well, mostly life podcast with one of my best friends from growing up, about, and our like discussion about two aging millennials. She is not as big of a pop culture and Bravo head as I am. And so it's like really funny when it just kind of crosses into her world and I have to explain. And it's like, it is so funny and like exhausting because I'm like, oh, it's been a long week because of Scandal. And I was like, yeah, like, can we move it back this week? I'm like, I was a mess. I was up all night one day and I was like, I'm so tired. I didn't get any sleep because it was just,
well, actually, that's kind of how we connected. We connected because I did Kaya Wilson's episode. And by the way, go listen to my episode in Nneya's podcast, Building Home, because it's so good and so funny. We had such a great time. So please do that and rate and review and share, because that's very important for us podcasts. So make sure to hit subscribe and hit those 5 stars, okay? And then I did Bravo We're Black with Kaya Wilson, who is my queen. Love her. She's doing 40 days and 40 nights of dragging Amanda and West. She's doing the Lord's work. And I did that. And then you wrote to me like, you're in Europe. We need to talk because everybody's asleep, or everybody's like, I need to go and talk to someone. And we were like, literally, this command thing was happening. And you and I were like, what is going on? This is insane. You're like, I am hiding in a closet. My kid is yelling at me. I need to put her to bed, but I need to talk about this.
Right. I was like sending you voice notes because she just, and it's funny because she could tell she thought like I was like upset about something that was like literally happening to me. She's like, what's wrong, mommy? Because she's never seen me so glued in on my phone. And she's like, what is happening?
And you were like, mommy needs her time. Mommy, that was so funny.
It was insane. And so yeah, I mean, Bravo brought us together. You know, it's like it lit up the chat.
Love that for us. We gotta, like, if we ever like meet up, hopefully in Italy or in France or wherever, we gotta do like a live or something talking about our experience, because it's so funny.
Yeah.
And okay, so getting into Summer House, we are in the final countdown for the finale and the reunion. So in this episode, it just came out. What are your initial thoughts? Like, what pops out in your mind? What gives you a glow, and what? Well, there was so many no glows in this episode. Like so many things that took our glow away. Anything that really like struck a chord with you?
Yes. One of the things that gave me a glow was KJ. And like
such a sweetheart.
He's such a sweetheart. It's so genuine. I don't understand all of like the hate that he and Dara are getting, and how people are now saying like he's getting hate now. People reading that message from Wes, and people are saying, "Oh, he's doing things for attention." He read it on, and like I think if you actually watch the episode, you see why. Also, even Wes sent him, like, not to give Wes any points, but I think Wes probably watched the episode and. Or maybe no, he sent it before this episode, but it made
he sent it after the reunion.
After probably the reunion,
KJ was very emotional.
Said something similar.
Yeah,
exactly, because what he shared on this episode about like his brother passing and having and like finding essentially like the brotherhood and the boyhood in the Summer House group was so amazing and so special to me. And you can tell when he starts getting he starts kind of shaking his head like this, like kind of that's his tell. And he is such an amazing, and I think also what he is getting hate on is, quite frankly, I don't think people are used to seeing Black men so vulnerable and so sensitive and openly discussing mental health issues. And so I think a lot of the hate that people are giving him on Bravo, like attention, he's not doing it for attention. He's expressing pretty standard basic emotion, but people are just not used to seeing that and not receptive to it.
Me and Jonas were talking about it because she was like, "Oh, I don't know, okay," and I'm like, I think we're just so used to guys being dickheads in this show and in this universe of Bravo and testosterone and men being extremely manly and showing sometimes their
and
worst
toxic
traits, toxic masculinity. That when a guy comes in that's a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more soft and soft spoken and more in touch with emotions, and he's not like a wimp or anything like that. He's just
no
a vulnerable person and a funny guy, a very smart, artistic person. And that's why it's such a shock because we're just not used to that. We're so used to this boisterous personality, taking air out of the room, not letting women have their space, not showing their vulnerabilities, etc., etc. So I think that's why some people are taken off, put off by him, and it just show also a lot of internalized misogyny that women and people have, you know? I think
yes
like
and
if you have that
I
reaction
think you hit the
about
nail
him,
on the head. I think you said it because they're used to like a Jesse going into trying to become a bed bug in a
in a
smarmy,
gross,
flirty way.
yeah,
Let me
and
lay
not
and the way he checks in with Mia and Ciara like his sisters, it's because he's looking to them as sister figures. So he checks in and they are his emotional touch point in the way that West offered. You remember West at the beginning was like, "Oh, if you're ever feeling
pretending.
like, come to me." But it was like Mia and Ciara didn't even need to say that. He feels that with them, and that's who he touches base with. Like every weekend, we see him having a check-in with them. He goes to their room, he goes and sits by them because that's his safe space. And I think people just aren't used to seeing that. They're like, "Oh, what's he doing?"
And also a black man.
Mhm.
People like to have this stereotype idea of what a black man is supposed to do and how he's supposed to
Mhm.
act and how he's supposed to be this thug, whatever. Or I don't even
Mhm.
know. Like I don't even know
They
because
want to
I'm
see
not.
him like in the club. They want to see exactly. And I think that he just offers like a really beautiful, introspective, sensitive guy in general
Mhm.
because they allowed the space, even though they gave space for Carl to be soft, it was a whole joke made out of it, quite honestly.
And it's been
So it's
it's
not
been it's been a joke exactly. Well, I love that. I love that they got the grills. I thought that was so freaking chic. They look so freaking
yeah,
cool.
they're
Uh,
so
I'm so like jealous. My grandma had a golden tooth, and I thought that was the
yes.
sickest thing in the world.
So fucking cool. So
And
cool, man.
that really like hit a nerve. I think like for some white people that might be so weird, but like imagine me growing up with my grandma with a gold tooth.
Right. No. Like I think so many people in the Caribbean, so many people.
Mm.
Might not my grandma had one, but definitely I knew people like some of her friends that had one. And it's like it like is such a part of the culture that
So
they
it's
are
kind
bringing to
of,
Summer House.
yeah. And it's also, now that I think about it, I'm like, wow, okay, please don't get gold teeth. That's not necessarily good for your health, your teeth health.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think we, in the, like at least in the R, or like my family at least, we lost some of that. So I think I'm like, huh, am I going to get a gold tooth? I don't know, but I'm going to revisit that idea.
Yeah.
And I love that. Now, can we talk about the whole water gun scene? I thought it was hilarious, Ciara, blah blah blah. But I'm like, let's keep it moving. I'm like, I can with the cutesiness and the pretend situations of like, let's be
Mm,
funny.
it was funny. I loved it. I love any mention of ROTC Lindsay. But
Me
then
too. Every time I get a flashback,
Amanda, right.
I'm like, ooh,
You're like,
yes.
this makes sense. This makes sense. But
And I'm like,
then,
please show the footage of her pinning down
right,
Kyle. Yeah, please.
right,
They didn't show it
right.
this time because I'm telling you that footage drives me like it fuels me.
I
It
love it.
fuels me.
I love it.
But yeah, you were gonna say something about Amanda. I think I know where you're going, and I'm 100% behind you.
Of course she walked in complaining. Of course. Of course she walked in complaining with her suede jacket. Like
In
she's
August.
so irritable. She's so irritable. So
In
irritable.
Spanish, we have a saying. In Spanish, we have in DR mostly, we say "le hiede la vida," like her life stinks, like everything is stinks. Le hiede, like everything stinks to her. She has her face is like she's in constant smell of a fart, and probably West was the one that
Right.
farted, and it's always like that's the energy.
But West was the one who called it out. Remember, he said she walked in complaining. This is your life. This is your life. This
This
is
is
what
what
you
you sign
signed
up
up
for,
for.
baby. This is what you sign up
Yeah.
for, babe. Sweat in August, go for it. You know,
Mm.
and they're so nice. They didn't get a wet. I would have been like, I don't know, get a dry
Right.
clean. I don't know.
Right.
But okay,
She's
so we got that, and then of course Carl is like, it's National Beach Day. He's such a dork. I love it.
Oh, but did you
Uh,
another one quick Summer House Martha's Vineyard reference? Did you see that? Was it the episode before that? Jordan from Summer House Martha's Vineyard was DJing, or no, this episode.
yeah,
What
she
she
was
was
the
DJing
this
a
episode.
party. Yeah, it was this episode. She was DJing the party.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
love
like, oh,
Jordan, miss her. Please bring Martha back. To Martha.
please,
To Martha.
to Martha, to Martha, to Martha.
That was one of my favorite shows, Summer House,
It was so
Martha's
good.
Vineyard, and please bring
I
it back,
always
right?
thought Kyle and Jasmine would be
You
the
told me this.
best housemates. The house might be in ashes by the end of the summer, but it would be a good run.
I think they should like get each other's info, not necessarily date, but just go party and go wild
Mhm.
because those two energies are like
Right.
a moth to a flame,
Could
in
you
the
imagine
worst and the
him
best way.
DJing and how she would be like all over? Like,
She has
oh.
the best energy. I feel like chaotic for reality TV. She needs
Mhm.
to get back on our screens. But back to Summer House. So they go to the beach house. No, they go to the beach.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but as a Caribbean person, these beaches are just shameful. Like I look at them and I'm like, this is the best beach in the world. This is
Like
sad. I'm
it
sorry.
is.
Respect to your NYC,
It's cold.
roots.
The water's cold. The water is very. It's not until August that you can actually go in.
The water is murky. It's like
It's
swamp
it's a
water.
gray
Is
water. It's a gray water. It's gray.
it's
It's
like
gray.
I come from like DR has ruined me for beaches. I was in Thailand, the most beautiful, and I was like, huh, this is cute. I was like,
It's true.
yeah,
It's true.
okay. After DR, after the Caribbean, you're like,
Right.
you tried
No,
it,
no.
and I don't even say nothing in front of people anymore because they're expecting me to say something, and I'm like,
No,
your
I'm like that
culture.
too. Like in Italy, they're always like, "Oh, Sardinia has beaches like the Caribbean," and I'm like, "It's close, but not quite." It's
You have
they do have
gravel
some nice
sand.
turquoise beaches. Yes,
I
they
mean,
have
I
a
do.
few sand beaches, but like again, I agree with you. Like I do not like a pebble sand. I don't like a stone
That's not for
beach.
me.
It's just not.
But
It's not going to hit for me.
I love the beaches in Italy. Like it's a different vibe, but I appreciate it and had so much fun in there. But there we go. Puglia, I love going to Puglia and all that.
Yes.
Bravo. So okay, so then they go to the beach and we get like a moment that I thought, wow, this woman is a freaking psychopath. The sit down between Amanda and Mia. I was like, she's trying to get the scoop. She's like, oh, so what happened? Oh, I wasn't invited. Oh my God. I mean, I would never put West and Ciara on a date because she's too vulnerable for that. He's gonna break her heart. Like she immediately was feeling something for him there.
I agree with you. I agree with you because she was just so over the top. Like I would cut it off in a second. Like she gave me the look. It's like cut what off? Cut him off? What? Cut him
Are
off?
we? This did not age well. She's basically saying that if Ciara said, I'm done with West, she will be done with West too, and that she would never talk to him again. I feel like
Exactly.
she was trying to convince herself or convince Mia that she's not a snake in the grass. Like she was trying to be
Yeah.
like, I don't have feelings for Wes. This is crazy. No, I don't. I would do anything for Ciara. It was too put on.
Hmm.
Subconsciously, probably this was what was happening because it was
Yeah.
insane. And like, I hope they play back this scene and say, what do you mean by this? Was it all fake? How did it go
At the
change so
reunion.
quickly? Yeah, the reunion. How did it change so quickly? And Mia's reaction, I think Mia wasn't clocking it then, but she was like, she wasn't hyping her up too much, you know? She was just
Right.
listening
She
and be like,
wasn't being like, but I don't think it's like, I don't think it was intuition about the situation. I
no, no,
think it was
no.
intuition about Amanda.
Yeah,
I
it's like
think,
the vibe. You know, like sometimes something weird happens, something big, like a friend of you gets divorced and they find out their husband was cheating and blah blah blah. And then you look back at that moment, you were like, huh, remember when I found out that he got into tennis? I always found that
mhm,
weird. But at the moment you didn't
yes,
clock it. But it was like
right.
something like I remember a friend of mine, she had a horrible divorce and this guy was like
Mhm,
living a double life. And I'm like, damn, I remember he posted something about him eating oysters. I've met this man for 10 years. He does not
mhm.
like to try new things and he's a picky eater. So when I saw that, I was like,
Huh.
that's
No, I
interesting.
completely, but you know what? I don't even think it's essentially that. I do think it's part of that. I do think the other part is that, because I think everyone's reading deep into it about how Mia was quiet, all of that. I think I was that like one of our first one-on-ones with her and Amanda. The other one was her, Amanda, and Lindsay when she was open and speaking. And
Oh yeah.
I think the thing is similar to Paige, Ciara, and Amanda. I think it was essentially one on one. Amanda gives nothing. Ciara is the only one that saw it for her. I think Mia
Mhm,
simply didn't see it for her like that. Like there was nothing
mhm.
like the Mia KJ dynamic, even Mia with Dara, like how it's a conversation back. I think she simply doesn't see it for her and didn't see it for her. Like Lindsay gives you something. And I feel like she was like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like
Mhm.
watching her just like this is not someone in the house that I trust how she moves in
How she
general.
moves.
Exactly, because I think she's gotten the rundown on Kyle and Amanda. You never know. Like, say I was coming into that house, like if I've always felt Kyle to be on the right side of things between the two of them. But the way how Bravo Universe is, I didn't always feel confident enough to say it. Like I've
So
always felt
now,
confident to say I'm a Kyle fan, but I never was confident enough to say I don't fuck with Amanda until now. But I've always felt she was lazy. Like all the stuff that Kyle saw, I was like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Sure, he shouldn't have screamed it to her across the beach, but I've always felt like she was a negative Nancy. And I think like Mia kind of had that feeling about her too, but couldn't say it because Ciara seems to be really feeling this girl. But it was kind of like, that's your friends, Ciara. That's your friends. That's your
yeah,
friend.
or in the moment she's not even like realizing, but things are adding up into it. Well, they have that scene. Also, we see finally Levi and Bailey have a scene together in an event, which I was like, "Girl, Bailey, Levi, where have you been? Like, what's
Not me
happening?"
doing my skincare routine during this.
Yeah, I was like, "What
I
is
was like,
this?"
let me do my serums
And
during
it's
this
and
time.
it's basically like the only way for Levi to get some screen time was because she helped out in this event. After that,
Right.
we don't know where you've been. We don't know anything. So let's keep it moving. Let's not even go too deep into that. Um,
She's been doing
anything else?
interviews and she gave that thing about Dara and KJ. Has she ever been
In reality
asked
TV,
about,
yeah, page
did they
6.
ask her in that interview about her lack of scenes?
I think it was a live event. I think they were doing as well. So probably during the live
Mm,
event, somebody talked about it. But I haven't seen any clips. But because that's the big question, like what happened?
right. That's
Gerald
the
gave us
big question.
where were you?
Right. Where were you? Like, that's the first question I would ask her. Like, so where were you this year?
Yeah, and it's like
Oh
now, and
man.
now she's coming all rah 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 against Dara, and I'm like, girl, you barely got some screen time. Like, shut it.
Right. It gives jealousy. Gives jealousy.
Definitely, because Dara swooped in and got herself, main character energy
Right.
and what she couldn't deliver. But don't be jealous. Just,
Hmm.
be on, like, get with it and understand that that's what happened. And
Exactly.
what do you think about Bailey and Carl's flirting situation and then eventually a makeout?
Whatever. Like, it doesn't feel it doesn't feel very natural to me. And it could just because they're both two awkward people. So I'll give them that. But it's not moving the needle. It's not exciting. It's
I
not like
can't
Bailey is
imagine
fine.
being a dinner and somebody says, make out with that guy. That's why I'm not a reality
Right.
TV star.
Right. And so I'm happy they did it to get some spice. Um, yeah, like it's the least interesting thing going on with Carl for me is like the dating of Bailey.
I couldn't even look at them kissing because I would found it so cringy. I was like looking away.
Right. Like for some reason it seemed super cringy to me and it could just be because she's awkward. Like was it cringy with him and like the meerkat girl maybe? Like
Oh
they're
my God, that
flirting.
was
It could just
horrible.
yeah, it could maybe
But
it's
at least
Carl and how he flirts.
But at least with the Meerkat girl in last season, I felt like he was aware that she was being cringy. So that didn't make me feel so uncomfortable. And I do hope, like, I like Bailey and I like Carl. Like, if they would be weird together, love that for them. But
Right.
I also was like, what's happening with Venita? And Venita also said, oh, I found out that we weren't dating through People magazine. So I'm like, Carl, that's not cool. That's not
Right.
gentleman, Carl.
Let's
So
stop going to the press to say that we're not feeling people. Like,
exactly,
let's
like what did
stop
with New York
it.
Times. Like, just
Right. Like,
text someone, give them a heads up or something. That's not cute. So
right.
so then I think the main event is basically they get back to the house. There's this freedom dinner, apparently again, volume
Mhm.
2, because didn't you know is the anniversary of when Carl and Lindsay
Women
broke
broke
up.
chaos.
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 Love you, Lindsay. And they basically have this dinner where Lindsay reveals her housewife's tagline: I lost all my timelines, but found my girl.
Yeah. I thought that was super cute. Found my
Super
dream
good.
girl.
My
I
dream
was
girl.
like,
I mean,
I love that for I love Lindsay with you know how like is Aaron always how says how he loves a bob and I feel like I feel like Lindsay with a bob is my favorite Lindsay like Lindsay with like her mom bob she's like looking so
I
cute
mean, is it because we
she
both have bobs? My bob is collected now, but we both have bobs.
I know, like I love a sassy queen with a bob. I love it.
What can we
So
say?
like anything, like I thought she looked amazing in that dress. Like I
Gorgeous.
am
Oh man, that dress was really
feeling
cute, by the
Lindsay.
way. I was like, oh, I
Super
really
cute.
like that. I like
Super,
that.
super cute. Like I'm feeling
And
Lindsay like never before.
she had a bob off with Sharon's Carl's mom in last episode, which was weird, weird vibes. I was like, why does this woman feel the need to go over here? And you can
But
tell how
that's
uncomfortable
why she's
Lindsay was.
like she was like, okay. She was giving like the Nene leaks, okay.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. I know that you have to be the bigger person and you have to be polite and all of that. I, as a Leo, like Lindsay,
Mm.
I would, maybe piss my mom off and acted a bit like that because I'm still hurt, and you said things about me that I am mean and that blah blah blah, and you encourage your son to break up with me and like in such a hard way in front of national TV. Like my parents are not going to get involved in TV and start telling me about my business over there. But thank you, Sharon, for doing
And
that.
there
That gave us
hasn't
a
been a
lot of,
private, and there hasn't been a private talk between them off camera. And
which is
so
weird.
it's just like, I'm sorry, like for you to first come up to me. And I think this is kind of the reality TV trope, right? Like, don't cause like enough drama in my life that it reverberates off camera, and our first conversation about it is only on
On
camera.
camera.
Like West
So
Sierra,
good.
I
That's
think
so
it just
true.
is like, it's always a thing on reality TV that
Because
like
it's put
you
on.
only want to talk to me when the cameras are up. And so I think I would be also really, really bad about that. Like I would be the one harping on it when every reunion, every season start, like you didn't text me until the cameras, like that would be my drama every season, because I would be like, I'm a Cancer, I can hold it in. And I would be like, I'm still hurt and you didn't talk to me until these cameras are up. So keep that same energy, So I totally got why and Michael Rappaport is beefing with her about it. What is that?
Because Michael Rappaport said that Lindsay is overrated as a reality TV star, which is ridiculous. She's a freaking queen. She
So
has given
silly.
us so much, and she's actually one of the few like women before Paige that was actually giving some raw energy into the summer house. I mean, the workers twins, whatever the hell, they didn't have the
The
gravitas
work
that
is
Lindsay has.
circus.
The workers circus. And Amanda's always been like vanilla on a piece of toast. And so she actually is the main woman in Summer House. So she clapped back and was like, hey, you want to say something? Turn your fucking comments on and let me comment on your video, or whatever you're saying. And I mean, Michael Rappaport, like, please don't even bother Lindsay. There's no need. That man is tired, racist,
Right.
and bloated.
Right. He's so like I cursed Spike Lee for giving him a platform way back when. Like,
Glee,
he is
Boston Public, whatever the hell.
like he's so dated. Like he is like who was it? Our favorite rapper? Someone said like you a hoe from the 90s. Like that's who he is.
The nose from the 90s, Angela in Atlanta.
Angela had the nose from the 90s. Like it's just no, I think was it Nini calling Claudia a hoe from the 90s?
Yes. I think Claudia Jordan. Yeah.
So the
So
Atlanta is obsessed with the 90s. And I feel like Michael Rappaport is like that person from the 90s that is like he's found
trying to
his
claw
relevance
his way
through
back.
Bravo. And it's so lame. And he does, like Lindsay said, like, oh, you're picking on me. Like he loves going after women. He doesn't have the same energy for the men of Bravo. He does not. And
Never.
it's so weird. It's so weird.
Ugh, disgusting. But so this dinner is a complete shit show of a dinner. A lot of people are saying that it's kind of Lindsay getting her leg back. Ira Madison was saying that on Threads for how Kyle treated her while she was going through the situation with Carl and the breakup. And she says, well, Kyle lost his ring, but found a DJ career or something like that, and it was like
Yeah, she
pouring
kept
salt
going
on
at
the
the
wound.
DJ.
And I'm like, wow, Lindsay, I get it. And this is why you pay you the big bucks, girl, because she really goes there. I think they're like, okay, we have 2 more episodes to go. We need to get something going, but I didn't expect it to go this left so
But
fast.
you know what? As I said, I've always been a Kyle apologist, because also he clocked in, he thought about that race conversation, because he said, I will bang on a table. He's like, you know what?
I will bang on the table if I want.
He's like, I'm gonna do it because but I agree. It's so weird to me the way they discuss his DJ career, like they don't know that DJing can make a lot of money when you're a Bravo celebrity, when you're a fashion girl, that you
No,
don't
but the
have
thing
to be
is, no, but the
Tiesto.
issue with
It's
that,
so weird.
the issue with that has always been that Amanda says that she wanted to start a family. She was bothered by him being out and drinking, blah blah. So then he goes into a career that involves even doing that more.
Going out, yeah.
And I think that's always been the argument to that. But I think what Kyla's saying here is like, I didn't want to call you out on the last reunion, but you really don't want to have kids and you're not ready to have kids and stop blaming me, which I thought was interesting. I think there's more happening to that
I
we
think
haven't
he
seen
held I think he held back so much and he's still holding back so much to
to
protect
protect
her.
her.
And we saw it, like you just said, we saw it on this episode because he said, stop blaming me. There are so many things that I could say. And we get glimpse of it when he talks about the dirty apartment, when he talks about this. But but I've always felt this way because it's like the like 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 to her. She doesn't want him to work as much. And I'm like, who is paying for kids? Because you don't like to work. And that is literally okay. And Kyle's saying, I want to be a workaholic, earn some money so you could stay home and chill and be with the dogs and be with the kids. And so she's not seeing what it takes to have a family. She's just thinking you have a baby. It's very like childish. It's very naive. It to me, it's like grow the fuck up. Like he needs to work to even like consider the aspect of kids. Like, do you know how much it costs to raise kids
She wants
in
a
New York
house.
City? You
She wants
want
a
a house
house.
in Jersey. You want like, and so that takes work. And then did you see the thing about the lawsuit with Loverboy? Like the one of
Yes,
the first
about
that about the logo and the trademark stuff, and
mhm.
that's under her domain at the company. So I
So it was when
saw
she was a graphic designer. People are saying that she created the whole visual identity, which she has been praised by a lot about her work there. But apparently, there was a lawsuit of copyright infringement towards those visuals, like the logo and I think fonts and stuff like that.
exactly. And so like which got them a bit in the hole. And I think that's part of also what Kyle doesn't speak about with lawsuits. Notice he talks about all the financial problems. He never talks about the lawsuit. And I think that because it's directly tied to what Amanda contributed to the company.
And
And
probably
like
put them in jeopardy in some ways, because
put them in jeopardy.
nobody wants to acquire a company which their logo and their identity, because we know that the merch was the thing that was driving them for so long, is under a copyright infringement. Like you can get acquired
Case.
if you're
Yeah.
going through that type of thing.
And also, we don't know why she took such a step back in the company. And this is probably why. Remember that suddenly she was not working. And we just kind of assumed that it was maybe because of her mental health. I think it was because she had to. I think it was she had to because of these lawsuits. And so he doesn't say a lot. There's a lot of stuff that, like he said when he was talking to on the street interview, he protects her. He's still protecting her, and she like revels
But
in
he needs
him
to stop.
being the
He
bad
needs to
guy.
stop.
He's not going to stop. He still wants to be her savior. Like she still plays the victim and he still wants to be her savior. And so but like if I were her, considering all of these things, what I want this house, I'm getting lawsuits allegedly brought on me. I keep my mouth shut and let my husband go and DJ. Like if it takes like if it's so much more peaceful for you to be without him for the weekend, why don't you let him go DJ? Like relax, smoke your weed at home. If he's out DJing, let him
I
go
just
DJ.
think
Like
I just think they weren't meant to be together. Like I think the whole cheating situations from the beginning, the lack of communication. I mean, these two people, like we've seen so many examples of how they don't communicate. Like when she had her health situation, there was Ciara that told her like, "Hey, you haven't gotten your period for a year, and your husband doesn't even know about that." He's trying
right.
to become a DJ and he's talking to managers, and she doesn't know about that. when he didn't invest in Carl's company, she wasn't aware about that. So they don't talk because I'm sorry, but I know everything that's happening. Maybe not everything that's happening in my husband's life, but big things. We are talking about it. If I haven't gotten my period for a year, I'm gonna be like, hey, this is weird. I'm having a health
Right.
situation here.
Right.
Like it's my husband. We're gonna talk about that shit. So I always
But
think
I
like they
also
just shouldn't
think,
have
you
gotten
know how
married.
Ben, I completely agree with you. You know how Ben got it, and Ben was like, managers will help him take less jobs for more money, like
Mhm.
things like that that don't connect for Amanda because she doesn't want him to DJ at all. And I don't think she doesn't want him to DJ actually because of going out and drinking. I think that she said that and she's mad that he's DJing because I do think it's because it brings him so much enjoyment and because she said no and she doesn't want, like, for her it's like, I said no and you did it anyway, and she can't get over that. Like, even if he was DJing sober, she wants him to listen to her. She just wants like a sense of control and power over him that she doesn't feel. And I think that that's a lot of what it comes down to. And like, this is even before Amanda and Wes. Like, I like their dynamics, because she would do little things for power and control to belittle him, and he would do things to get back at her, that they are very toxic and should not have gotten married, like you said.
Okay, I completely agree. They should not get married. That was a bad decision, and we can see the fruits of their labor now.
And her
I
dad,
will.
like the way we saw Lynn, like Carl's parents saying, don't marry this person. Dad is like
Her,
writing contracts. I'm sorry, but like your parents are complicit. If you have to write a contract, maybe you should be like, I don't approve of this marriage.
yeah, I think they did that, and she still went ahead and did it, and that's it. But okay, so now in this scene, there's the most important scene, and so we can, like not take too much time of our days doing this because we can go on and on.
Right.
Basically, Lindsay starts talking about it, about they talk about, Jesse asks about, hey, what's happening with your DJ? Are you getting signed? He explains that is he's considering it as a career, and he's getting management to get bookings, maybe get a residency. He's going to do Vegas. And Amanda's like, he's doing Vegas. I think it's interesting in this whole scene how she just sits back and lets everybody do her bidding,
Yeah.
riled him up, and if you see her face, she's loving it. She's loving that he's
Delighting.
losing his temper, that he's acting this way. uh, Kyle has a short fuse. He needs to work on it. He needs to regulate his emotions. He can't be acting like this and wanting to be a
Mhm.
CEO, etc., etc.
Right.
But the way that she was glowing, like she was glowing, looking at him,
Hmm.
and he exploded. He exploded.
He
What did you
exploded.
thought of that scene?
Like, I was just like, she's giving her exactly what she wants. Lindsay, I was like disappointed. Like, she didn't know. And now that you phrased it in kind of her get back, I completely get it. Because Kyle has watched her explode, but then he does chase her. So that's like, I think if that was a conversation between Lindsay and Kyle, he kept saying he doesn't want to feel ganged up on. And I think individually, besides Wes and Amanda, like, I think Ben was coming at it on his side, but
Yeah.
you can't hear it when it's like Lindsay coming at you, then like Jesse, people are chiming in. Ciara was actually quiet. Um, and so it was really Lindsay and Amanda speaking. But
I
he
think
felt so ganged up on.
I think Ciara was quiet because she just had that conversation with him that maybe you guys should take a break, which I thought, Ciara, don't get in married people's business. Don't be saying all of
I thought
this.
that was
She was,
overstepping of her.
yeah,
I
yeah. She
thought that
needed
was a
to.
bit over.
So I think she kind of
But I think
realized
it
that
also
she
showed how close she is with
to
both
Amanda to
Kyle and Amanda.
exactly, and I think she wanted to tell him, hey, we've been talking about this. So then he jumps up of the he gets like really angry. West moves his chair next to Amanda, like I'm a defender. When
Please,
have you seen West
please.
bring that energy to anything?
To Ciara, to anybody, quite honestly, to
No.
anybody.
So
Like
he's like,
it's
I'm protecting my bitch here. Oh, that was such a tell. I feel like there was definitely something happening at this point,
it was
emotionally
weird.
or something.
It was weird because everyone's like how Kyle was it was after Kyle was like F you. None of the other men in the house felt the need to do that. None of the other men, including Carl, who knows Kyle, knows who fights him right after that. No one felt it. I think that escalated it. I think Kyle was seeing things between Wes and Amanda all season. He said from the beginning, you're paying more attention to the other guys than me, blah, 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 blah. That escalated it. And it's like his behavior is out of control. He can't keep popping off like that. But Amanda knows how to
Push the
get at
button.
him and keep it quiet and keep it cute for public. And we like what goes like I feel like it's emotional warfare in that house on Monday to Friday.
I
So,
do feel like in this situation, you can't control what Lindsay's going to say and this and that. But I think it got activated. And instead of saying, because sometimes she's like, oh, this is not a dinner table conversation. Let's not talk about this right now. Let's put a pin on it. Blah, blah, blah. She was sitting back and enjoying the show, mama. She was like,
mhm,
because at the end of the day, I know we're reality TV stars, but if I see my husband that he's getting so distraught and I see people coming at him, I'm like, and it's my friends, I'm gonna be like, guys,
right.
I get what you're doing, but no, and I get what you're doing and you're defending me and everything, but I mean, Lindsay said, are you talking to your wife? Are you discussing these topics? And it's just what we said. These people don't talk. They have been checked out. The relationship was done, and I I want
But
to see the
I think
Carl
she still
and
feels
Kyle
safe
beat
with
down.
him. Cannot wait. Cannot. Because I was like, wait, is that Jesse holding? Because they're both wearing black tops. I'm like, what's happening? And it was Jesse
Jesse's
holding
holding
Carl.
Carl, but I'm
But
like,
I think,
let's get to it. How many episodes before we see this?
right. But the thing is that Amanda still feels safe. Like you said, I would have been like, guys, stop. This is my husband. At the end of the day, she does still feel so protected by him because even if only for self-preservation, would I've been like, guys, stop. Because he was on the brink of saying, he kept saying, like, there is stuff I'm not going to say. And if I were her, I would be like, let's stop because he's going to be telling some truths about me, and she was ready to keep pushing him. I was like, oh, that's very, but like we saw when we heard the release leak, and from what Danielle said, she's a sneaky leak. She throws curveballs all the time. Like she's like a mention it all. And you're like, she's like, bring it low, take it low. I don't
Found,
care.
the founder and CEO saw her and was like, "You
Saw
are not
her.
high. You're not getting higher in the closet, whatever that app was that Danielle was doing."
The curve, she's a curveball because the way he kept going, there's stuff I wouldn't say. I would have wrapped that conversation up really quick before he exposed me, but she didn't care. She was
No,
like, I
and I
got a
feel
new
like,
man.
and he's sitting right next to me. I feel like when you are angry and you are seeing, I get the idea of like, oh, I like people standing up for me and all of this. I just think it looks really bad right now because she was doing like poking her tongue, putting her tongue out to Wes, like, "Hey, look what's happening! He's ready to pop. He's gonna look like such an idiot, and
Right.
everybody's gonna hate him, and they're gonna be happy afterwards. A couple of in a year when we get public and with people. So
It's
I'm
weird.
not
It was
gonna
super weird.
I'm not going to take more of your time. I think this we can go on and on, but this
I
was a
know.
great talk, and we should really talk back after the reunion just to like debrief and how are we going to watch? We're going to have to like
Right.
meditate, yoga, take a Xanax before.
Right. Like, well, you know, the theory is that Amanda was on all these beta blockers. That's why she like didn't sound like she gave up at the reunion.
that tracks. And Jesse Solomon said that Paige DeSorbo gave him a very good advice before the reunion, and I think that advice was get beta blockers.
It's so wild. That is
But
so.
can you give your all your like accounts so people can follow you? Your content is so beautiful on Instagram.
Oh,
I love
thank
it so
you.
much. Your newsletter, your writing, everything.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So you can follow me on Instagram at Nneya at Nneya. I have a Substack, Nye's Dolce Vita, NY apostrophe S Dolce Vita, and building home podcast. And I would love to hang out with you guys and talk all things Bravo. I'm always down to talk some Bravo too.
So I'm gonna link everything on the show description so you can check it out
Thank
there.
you
Thank you so much for joining us. And this conversation gave me so much glow, so I can get on with my day.
so
Thank you.
much, Lo. Thank you for having me.
Oh wait,